All right. Excuse me. Infernal blessings. Back with another video. Before we begin, we're going through some announcements real quick. We have the 8th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference getting ready to take place October 30th to November 2nd, right here in Hollywood, Florida. It'll be a 4-day event. Meet and greet on Thursday night. Friday and Saturday, we will have classes and workshops during the day, followed by a group ritual in the evening, and then after the group ritual on both nights, Friday and Saturday, there'll be a group dinner, which kind of just like a kind of hangout section and chill, listen to some music, eat. It's always a good time Friday, Saturday night, and then Sunday noon to 4 p.m. We will have a question and answer session to close the conference out. If you're interested in attending, I've already, this year, believe it or not, we've had a couple people already sign up, register and pay early, and requested to pay early. I mean, you can sign up now pretty much anytime you want. Really isn't any cutoff as long as you sign up a couple of days before the event. I know that's another question that comes, what's the cutoff date? Is there any issues with space and room? 99.9% no, we won't have issues with space or room. If we get closer to the date and there is an issue with that, I will put it out there. But usually we don't have an issue with that. We're pretty good with accommodations and space and this, that, and the third. So if you want to attend, shoot me an email and I'll send you that information. Also, if you're interested in a spiritual reading or a consultation, I offer various different types of readings. I offer telepathic demonic readings, shadow work readings, which I've always said is a great reading if you're looking for a sense of purpose and direction, especially when you need to be focused on what kind of ritual work you should be doing. As I've said before, I always instruct and teach people ritual work should be designed first and foremost for your needs first before your wants. Your goal on this path is self-mastery. Your goal on this path is to gain true knowledge of self. Once you've attained that and you've tapped into your power and your potential, I promise you all those needs, when they're resolved, or you're addressing them, the wants will automatically fall into place. Trust me when I tell you. All right. I do Egyptian oracle readings, deity readings to see what gods, goddesses, and demons walk with you. Maybe you're just interested in a spiritual consultation, which a lot of people ask. Use that to ask a bunch of questions about the occult, the left-hand path, or maybe you want to focus on something specific about the path or something specific going on in your life. If you're interested in any of the aforementioned, shoot me an email at khnum19@gmail.com. And please include in that email your full weekly availability, that you're available, and the time zone that you're in. Very important. And we will find a day and a time that works for both of us. All right. If you want to sign up for classes, the way to do that, go to the Primordial Chaos Patreon page, located at patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti, tier 3. That's the tier you want to join. That's going to give you access to the 3 private classes I do every month on Patreon, in addition to the group ritual we do at the end of the month. And also keep in mind, you get access not just from the day you join moving forward, you get access to everything in the archives. If you want to see exactly what ongoing classes there are, go to the Patreon page, again at patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti. And you go to the collection section when you get to the page, and you'll see all the ongoing classes, with classes being added continuously, consistently throughout the year. We have a new class that's beginning this Saturday on Patreon, a brand new class, Esoterical Occult Quran and Islamic Studies class, where we will be exploring every facet of Islam, the different sects of Islam, their different, what's the differences between them, the different belief systems and the traditions. We'll talk about what place does the Hadith hold in Islam. We'll talk about the different translations of the Quran. We'll talk about the different practices. We'll talk about Sufi mysticism. It's going to go in depth on a bunch of studies. So that class will begin this Saturday at 3:30 p.m., which is the 5th of July. That's the newest class that's added to the roster of classes you'll see there. All right. Also, don't forget to check out the social media pages. Primordial Chaos 9, all one word, on Instagram. Primordial Chaos, 2 words, on Facebook. And primordialchaos.com, 3, on TikTok. That's the best place to stay up to date as far as classes, events, you name it. Subscribe to those platforms, and that'll keep you in the loop of what I'm doing here at Primordial Chaos. And also, don't forget to check out the Primordial Chaos podcast, available on Spotify and all major podcast platforms. So the direct link to the podcast, the direct link to my Patreon page to sign up for classes, the social media pages, my contact email address. All of those links are in the description box of the video that you are watching right now. Okay? So that's the way you stay up to par on the latest happenings and classes on those social media pages, and in the description box, the link of this video. All the links you need are right there. All right? Other than that, let's get to it. We're in the month of July, as you know. For the last few years here at Primordial Chaos, July, we devote every year the month of July to the deity Set. According to the Egyptian calendar in Cairo, July is Set's month. The end of the month, I believe it's the 28th or 29th. Last year, I think we did the ritual on the exact date. But this is the month of Set. We've also have used this entire year, the year of 9, 2025, and devoted it to Set with monthly workings, right? One of the monthly workings, I'm going to talk a little bit about that aspect in this video, which inspired the July working of Set, Lord of the Red Storm, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about Set and Lord of the Red Storm and how I came up with that. And it's going to be in direct relation to what the working is about. And hopefully those who are Patreon members, it will be posted late on June 30th, a couple of days ago. So hopefully everybody has a chance to see the working, and hopefully you started your monthly working. And obviously our monthly ritual at the end of the month is focused on the last Friday of this month. We'll be doing a Set ritual. So it's the month of Set. So Lord of the Red Storm. As we know, Set, a very unique aspect or mask of the adversarial current. We all very familiar with Set's role in ancient Egypt. We're very familiar with how we work with him on the occult on the left-hand path. And I mean, if we're in the 7th month of July here, and you've been following the month-to-month workings, if you don't know, I mean, if you're on Patreon and you're still not clear on what Set is about, then yeah, something wrong. But hopefully that's not the case. So this kind of came to me as I sat there and pondered, like I do most of the rituals that I kind of want to come up with and create, and and gear them towards the type of work that we're doing. So I sat there and thought of him, the concept of, God of the desert and all that came to me. But I've had visions in the past, or in my meditations and visualizations, and I know, I'm sure many of you had. I always see Set a lot in that red desert setting or atmosphere. This has happened a bunch of times to me in meditation, where I see him, rising from beneath the surface of the red sand. So that's kind of how I came up with the title, for the working for this month. But I think more important, what I want to talk about, other than the title, is what the working is about, because it embodies, in essence, what Set represents when you work with him in Egyptian Heka, which would be the left-hand path aspect of working Egyptian Heka, or magic, right? So when you work with Set, this working, and as a whole, when you work with Set, the working was focused on, as it should be with Set in general, obviously to master your fears, right? To eliminate them, to strengthen your willpower, to overcome challenges and obstacles, because this is what the working focuses on for the entire month. But Set in general, that's how you should be connecting with Set. Now, how you do that is going to vary from person to person. There is no right or wrong way or correct way or specific way that things have to be done, contrary to belief or what people might say. Because, you always got to be skeptical of them people who claim they got a lock on something or say you can only do this, you can only do it this way, that, and the third. Them people usually got an agenda, or they're trying to control you, or they got some type of fucking game behind it. So there's not a specific way, a right or a wrong way to do it. My job is, when I'm talking about ritual work, or I'm talking about Set and how to connect with him and the aspects that he represents and connects, it's my job to point that out, to teach about that, to give you methodologies, to give you information and knowledge. It's your job to take it and then design and create ritual work based on your needs, or how it needs to be made, so you can connect with it correctly for the purpose that you're trying to connect. Okay? So, Set, when working with Set, these are some of the key elements you need to, be focusing on. Because, as I've said many times before, I know we hear those titles and attributes given to Set, the god of chaos and storms, and Set this and Set that, and darkness this and chaos and blah blah. And again, I always have to make it clear, it's not that Set is the bringer of chaos in the sense that he internally stirs up random chaos from nowhere to just make shit difficult. No. What he does is, the chaos that you're suppressing within, and we all are chaos beings, we've suppressed it, and we don't deal with the chaotic side of our nature. We don't deal with the chaos that manifests through that. That's where Set comes into play. He's the great order out of harmony aspect of this path. Yes, and I always have to go back and make reference to as he guided Ra's boat through the underworld. And who does it clearly say was the navigator who was on the bark of Re in the front of the ship? Set. Who was the one that defeated Apep when Ra couldn't defeat Apep because he didn't understand the concept that you can't destroy energy. You can only manipulate it. You can't destroy existence or energy. It just is. It can't be destroyed. It can't even be created, right? Because when you're dealing with the existence or energy itself, it's something that has a continuum. So you can only manipulate energy. And that's the lesson learned when Set makes order out of chaos through the concept of Apep, or Apophis. You might hear that name, which is talking about the same entity in Egypt, right? And they say Apep or Apophis is the bringer of chaos, destruction. And in that story of Ra, trying to ward off Apep, and he thought he could just completely just eliminate him. That's where Set had to step in and say, you're not understanding how this works. And Set stepped in and made order out of that chaotic energy. Okay? So, excuse me. We too have to apply that on this path. Don't fool yourself or create an illusion that you're on this path, and at some point all this work and everything you're doing, this, that, and the third, you're going to get up one day and everything's just going to be perfect in your life. You're not going to have any issues, any problems. What that story of Apep and Set is trying to convey to us is simply chaos cannot be destroyed. Only harmony can be brought out. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be manipulated. Right? And it's how you take that energy and manipulate it. That's really, in essence, what that story represents. Because when you see Set step in and intervene for his father Ra, he makes order. He keeps the Apep serpent at bay. So this whole, up until these first 7 months, and to finish the year strong, and then going into the end of this month with the Set ritual, the goal here was to get our shit in alignment. That was the goal, or still is the goal, because we're constantly working on that, right? It's to get your shit together, right? Because if you don't have your shit together, it's very easy it's very easy for you to slip. Right? Very easy for you to, fall into something that's not productive for your growth, etc. You name it. Okay? And that's obviously the goal that we don't want to happen, is that. Right? So it's about Set, Lord of the Red Storm. Okay? Conquering our fears, our shortcomings. Right? Now that word fear, we have to be careful how that's used, because fear doesn't just mean somebody who's terrified and spooked out. Fear could be somebody who lacks confidence. Right? They play it safe because they have a fear maybe of messing up or making an error or a mistake. That's a fear. Right? Just to kind of put it into context. That's a fear. Right? So you should, as I like to say, analyze yourself and ask yourself and be honest with yourself. Where are you exceeding and where's your shortcomings? Okay? Because if you're really working this path, I can tell you this. They will be pointed out to you. Okay? So there's no dancing around it. There's no, shortcuts or, no. This path sometimes is learn as you go. Trial by fire. Just get in there, get your hands dirty, get it done. That's it. Sometimes people are looking for all this crazy shit, and I don't know why, but they were looking for this crazy shit when a lot of this is just simple explanations, and common sense, right? So Set, and I hope everybody for this month's working and getting prepared too for the end of the month ritual. Hope everybody is really, that first one is critical to overcome your fears, right? Pause for a little bit and ask yourself and think about it. What would you have that you're struggling with that's a fear? Okay? You do the math on that. You sit and calculate, because that, again, is going to be different from person to person. Okay? Now, there was another aspect that I put in that work, and I think it's very important to talk about. It's kind of the last one I want to talk about. Strengthening your will. Right? And Set is a great deity to work with. Now, really, any form of the mask of the adversary or the adversarial current in general is about strengthening your willpower. Now, there's also very Sith-like connotations to that, because the Sith philosophy is very heavy on mastering your willpower. Okay? That comes strongly from working with a deity like Set. And when you hear the term, because it could be, that could be looked at in a multitude, of different ways. When obviously if you're working with, Set and the adversarial current, and you're looking for great change, you're looking for a different outcome. But the mastering of the will, just so I don't forget my train of thought, which I said is very Sith-like, right? Strengthening your willpower is so critical and key, and so important on this path. Enforcing your will, right? We hear this term. You've heard me say this a lot over the years. What is enforcing your will on something? Really, that's a super quick answer to what black magic is, right? And Set is a great deity to work with to enforce your willpower. That's essentially what magic is and what a magician does, right? So strengthening the will, overcoming fears and obstacles, embracing for change, all of these things are in alignment with the Set current, because this really, in a short nutshell, describes who and what Set is and how he works. So you do your math, you connect, how you see fit. Again, my job is to just break things down, go through them, and hopefully it inspires each individual to create ritual work or something that gets them going in the right direction. That's the goal. That's what we try to do. Or I know that's what I try to do. So, again, I'm speaking in general because I'm not sure where each and every one of you are at individually this year with the set workings for the year. But I will tell you, or I'll speak to all those who are or have been doing the set workings, stay the course. Trust me, you'll see something very substantial and important for you as you get to the end of doing that 20 times. Okay? Trust me when I tell you, there will be something of clarity that will come to you that is just hard for me to put into words. It wouldn't even make sense if I tried. Okay? So, this is kind of where we're at. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video. So, keep up your yearly workings if you're on the Patreon and you're doing the set workings. And hopefully, like I said, the one that I just put out 2 days ago for July, hopefully everybody's had a chance to begin their work. And let me just address this, and I have addressed this on the Patreon, but just before I forget, I want to make this clear. So I get an email a lot sometimes when the new working for the month goes up on Patreon. Do I have to do this every day? Or should it be done every day? There's always something in their context. Let me just put a disclaimer out there, like I've done on the Patreon. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do something. No, it is not mandatory that you do it that X amount of days that I put in the ritual and this, that, and the third. If you are inspired, and that's why I tell people, don't even waste your time calling me or anybody else. If you're inspired to make a change to a ritual, feel free. That's the goal. That's the objective, is for you to lay out and create your own path. Now, obviously, if that was something in reference, you just creating a random ritual as opposed to, doing something, by the book, it doesn't matter if you can't get to it every day. So I get that email all the time. Do I have to do it every day? My answer to that simply is, do it as much as you can consistently throughout. Just be consistent. Look, I know you're reading a lot of books. Oh, do this ritual X amount of times, this, that, and the third. I've been telling you guys from day one, disregard all that shit. Right? Because 9 out of 10 times is pointless. And 9 out of 10 times, you're not going to do it verbatim like that. And I'm saying this too because I know everybody's got different schedules. They come and go, their work schedules, personal schedules, professional schedules, whatever it may be. I get it. The concern is really consistency when you say, should I do it all the time? Just do the best you can. Okay? Try to be as consistent with, when I'm putting a 30-day working out there for the month, just do it as much as you can for that entire month. That's it. Nobody's keeping score and counting. Oh man, you're supposed to do this 30 times, 31 times this month, or 28. Yo, you're short approaching the end of the month. Oh, you're short. Nobody's keeping score. I would say this. Be consistent, but if you ask me, the real question is the bare minimum, I would at least do it once a week. That I will throw out there, obviously. Try at minimum to do it once a week, which obviously, simple math, would be 4 times a month, would be 4 times for the month. Okay? Just a lot of times, a lot of the answers to some of the questions we have, and be honest with you, it's common sense, but I'm also going to be honest with you. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't have common sense. So just be consistent to the best of your ability. It's always about your intent, and don't stress the rest, all right? All right. Hopefully this video helped. Hope you guys, as we come into the beginning of the month and then we get down the stretch drive, this is the month of set. This is the fire month. Let's get to work. Let's connect, right? Let's do this. Let's tackle and embrace this head on, and let's see where this goes. All right, and then we have the ritual, we got the monthly working, etc. So we all know what it's time to do. It's time to put in that work. All right. Hopefully this video helped. If you need to reach out to me, my contact email address, along with the direct link to the Patreon pages, the social media pages, my contact email, all of those links are in the description box of this video you're watching right now. Infernal blessings. We'll talk soon.